I'm Chris Shapiro, and this is Retropulse Music, the new heart of rock and roll. We're down here at Pittsburgh today at the Jerome Bettis Bar and Grill, where in a few moments we're going to be speaking with Curly, the current drummer for the rock and roll band Boston. Alright, so let's start off with how you got involved with Boston. What's the story behind that?
Well, I got involved with Boston in the 90s. The bass player at the time, name was David Sykes, and he was a friend of mine, and he gave me a call in 93, and I flew out to Boston a little bit after that and played with them. It felt really good and joined the band in late 94 and was in the band all the way through 2001. And then I took a hiatus. I had a child, and I wanted to make sure I was there for the first 5-6 years of his life. And I've just recently come back and rejoined the band. So,
what's it mean for you to be back on the tour road with Boston as a musician? What does that feel for you?
It actually feels really, really great. I always love playing in this band. The musicians are wonderful. The songs are incredible. The stage show that we put together this time around is just out of this world. I mean, it's just spectacular. You don't see that. Most kids have never even seen anything like this. It's just people up there in jeans, you know. There's a whole thing, animated show behind us that correlates with the music. And the music is really, really, really good. I think it's, in my opinion, the best Boston band ever. So,
well, tell us a little bit about like the behind the scenes. What goes into creating a Boston show? I mean, we do see everything up front, but what's the behind the scenes like?
Well, it's pretty hectic. I mean, you know, getting animation together, and a lot of that falls on the shoulders of Tom Scholz, you know, the songwriter and the guy who started Boston, and he makes the records, and he kind of has a vision of how it should look. And we try to make that happen. And then, of course, we have a lot of rehearsing to do to put the show together as far as the songs and all the vocals and guitar parts and drum parts. And then it all kind of coalesces into what you'll see tomorrow night.
Okay. Now, what's your favorite song to play? When you're up on stage, what do you really like to rock out to?
Well, I would have to say Foreplay Long Time is my favorite, simply because it's so recognizable. It has one of the best grooves, and incidentally, it's the first song Tom Scholz ever wrote.
Okay.
I just found out the other day, in fact, so it's still my favorite song to play.
Okay, and real quick, what would your advice be to future musicians who are trying to make it in today's day and age? Given all the changes to the rock scene, what would you tell them that they should know?
Well, if you're speaking about musicians, I would have to tell them play several instruments, wear many, many hats, and become a songwriter. Because the music business has changed a whole lot since when I started. I was doing session work in LA, and I played on all these different records like John Waite's Missing You, and I played with Rick Springfield, and I did Heaven's a Place on Earth with Belinda Carlisle. I mean, I played with tons of people, and it's changed though now. It's all online. There aren't the big, huge record companies like they used to be. It's all sold online, iTunes, you know, and it's hard to get signed as a band. So if you're going to do a band, I'd make sure that you are current with your music, and if you're just a musician, like say a guitar player, bass player, whatever, play other instruments as well, learn how to write songs, because ultimately that'll keep you going. The more hats you wear, the longer you can be in this business.
Cool. Real quick, I want to ask you, what was it like working with Belinda Carlisle?
It was great. Belinda's a very, very nice lady, and she's very talented. It was a lot of fun, a lot of great musicians. It was produced really well. I Get Weak, which was also a hit. I did all the hits on that record, in fact, Circle and Sand, Heaven's Place on Earth. I really enjoyed it. I had known all the Go-Go's for years prior. You know, I knew all of them, and so working with her on a solo level was a little different, but a lot of fun.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you guys have a great show tomorrow.
It should be great. Come on.
It's great to meet you.
You too.
Thanks. In my opinion, Boston is the greatest American rock and roll band of all time, and it was such a thrill to meet the current lineup of the band. I want to thank Amy Cooper from Stage A&E, and I want to thank Gail from Boston's management for making it happen today. We'll be back here next time on Retropulse Music.